All right, there. This is for Latin 3 toward the end of the year and Latin AP toward the beginning of the year. We're on Caesar 1 1, Caesar Book 1, Chapter 1. So for AP, it's usually at the beginning of the year, September, and there's videos attached. And for level 3, it's usually toward the end of the year, so around May or so, to get you all ready for AP. So I'm going to put this in both playlists, and hopefully it'll populate where you need to see it. So, Book 1, Chapter 1. All Gaul is divided into 3 parts, of which parts? The Belgae inhabit one, the Aquitani another, and the third, who by their own language are called the Celtae, but in our tongue are called the Gauls. All these peoples differ from each other in respect to language, customs, and laws. The river Garumna, which is in current times is called the Garonne, separates the Gauls from the Aquitani. The river Matrona, which we now call the Marne, and the river Sequana, which we now call the Seine. By the way, the Seine River, they did the 1912 Olympics water sports in. I think it was 1912. Separates the Gauls from the Belgae. So he did south, and now he's doing north. Of all these, the strongest are the Belgae, for the reasons that they are, because they are the farthest away from civilization and from the culture of our province. That would be the Roman province just outside of the Alps, not Cisalpine Gaul, but Transalpine Gaul. Actually, I might have reversed those. And least often do merchants travel back and forth to them, the Belgae, and least often do they, the merchants, convey to them, the Belgae, those things that effeminate the minds of men. Yeah. It's an odd. Basically, it's civilizing things actually make you a little bit more effeminate because you're more cultured. Which, when we get together, we will talk about what that actually means because it's a really interesting juxtaposition there. But essentially, it effeminates the minds of those people. So if you don't have luxury goods, then your mind is not so effeminated. So you are very, very strong. Which is interesting because the Romans have all those things, so their minds are more effeminated, and yet they're still very strong, but there's reasons for that. And they, the Belgae, are closest to the Germani, who dwell across the Rhine, which is now what we call the Rhine. So in Rome, they would call it the Rhenum, with whom they continuously wage war. And for this reason, the Helvetii also surpass all the other Gauls regarding manliness. And I'm saying manliness, not virtue. Don't use virtue. It's a more modern word. Use manliness when you see this. Because they fight in nearly daily battles with the Germani whenever they, the Belgae, are either pushing them, the Germani, back from their borders, or they, the Belgae, are carrying out war within the Germani, territories. So they're either pushing them off or they're invading into. So there's just a lot of fighting back and forth across the Rhine. There, the Gauls, one part which has been said that the Gauls occupy takes its start from the Rhodanus, which is now known as the Rhone, and is hemmed in by the river Garumna, which we said is the Garonne, and the Atlantic Ocean, and by the boundaries of the Belgae. Okay, so the Belgae, and then he's talking about the Gauls, the central part. The Gaul territory, also extends from the Sequani and the Helvetii, so territories down there, to the river Rhine, the Rhenum, and it is situated toward the north. In other words, it looks north. So if you look at the map, you see that they've got a northern border that looks north. The Belgae begin their settlement or originate from the farthest boundaries of the Gauls or of Gaul, and they stretch to the lower part of the Rhine, the Rhenus, and they are situated toward the north and the rising sun. So the rising sun is in the east, so the north and the rising sun, so in other words, the northeast. Aquitania, now we're looking at the southernmost, extends from the river Garonne, which is the Garumna, to the Pyrenees Mountains. And that part of the ocean that extends toward Hispania, Spain, and is located between the setting of the sun and the north. So that would be the northwest, okay, going that way. And I'm thinking that this video inverts things because I'm looking right behind me and that's backwards. So I'm pointing northwest, even though to me it looks northeast, but I'm hoping it comes out. We'll see. It's not like you know how to read a compass anyway. Anyway, that is a geography lesson according to Caesar. Remember, it's not like maps were common or we had satellite imagery. So if you look at a map of the Gallic territories, and there are plenty to have, I might even find some of those videos for you. You will see actually he's got a pretty good understanding of the local geography. Anyway, I'm going to hit the button.